Good Thursday evening, everybody. David Paul here in the KHOU 11 Weather Center. We are transitioning from managing rain and thunder to managing heat and humidity. It's been an interesting summer, pre-summer into summer. We went into summer May, June, July in a wet weather pattern that erased a significant drought. Then we had a week or two where it was dry and hot. Then last week, the last 5 days or so, we've had rain every day. Widespread rain, all the rain in the morning, kept things cool. And now we're going back into a hot, humid, and dry pattern for the second time this summer. But the soil moisture content is very deep. We don't have any problems with drought. There is absolutely no drought in the area. So everything is wet. Everything is going to grow like crazy. That grass, the tree, if you planted a garden with all the rain we've had, the sunshine, it's just going to go bonkers. But with these high temps, you're going to see heat indexes well over 100. So we'll go over all of that. Bush Continental Airport, they're landing. It is hazy. Your eyes do not deceive you. That is Saharan dust. Saharan dust has arrived for the second or third time this summer. High temp today did go to 94. Normal is 95. Record is 104. Back on that beautifully hot, dry summer of 1980. One of my favorite summers of all time. Low was 76. Normal 76. Record low is 66. 1895. Current temps. So it's hot, manageable. Bush 90. Hobby 90. Pearland 90. Tomball's 88. Galveston 88. But it's very humid. So it feels hotter to your body than just the air temperature. It feels like about 10 degrees hotter. Feels like 100 in Galveston, feels like 101 at Bush. Hobby feels like 100, feels like 88 in Wharton. They've got a little scattered shower near Wharton right now. So some areas are getting a little bit of cooling, but not many of them. And tomorrow's forecast heat index, 3:30 in the afternoon, forecast to feel like 105 in Columbus, 104 El Campo, Bay City 106. Houston 106, Liberty 105. Galveston banking on the sea breeze to break your heat wave. You will have, feels like temperatures earlier in the day around 1 o'clock, that top 104, I think, in Galveston. So you're not off the hook. In College Station, it'll feel like 103. So full-blown Houston summer heat is what we've got coming tomorrow and really for the foreseeable future. Do we have any relief in sight with the dew point? Not really. However, as we go into next week, we do see the dew point perhaps dropping into the upper 60s and low 70s. You know, that helps a little bit. And because of that little bit of a drop, it's keeping us from going into heat advisory criteria. So if the humidity were much higher, we'd have heat indexes that feel like 108. That's our heat advisory criteria. You got to get to 108. We're not seeing that with the heat index values. And a little bit of a smidge of relief, but really not much. And we wouldn't expect much relief this time of the year. So what about rain? We're getting a small handful of scattered showers, thunderstorm in Montgomery County, Conroe, up I-45, getting wet. That's drifting toward Huntsville. Getting a thunder shower, northern portion to Waller County, drifting across Prairie View and 290 in here, drifting north into Grimes County. Navasota's right here, so Navasota, you may be able to hear the thunder. But most of the area is dry. Big change from the past several days. And that will continue drier and drier, even less and less of these little isolated showers the next couple of days. Zooming out, the hill country. So this is the area right here with all the flooding, same spot as last year. This flooding has been more widespread, more aerial coverage of heavy rain. It is because of the setup you see before you. Low pressure in the mid-levels has parked itself here. It's been trapped by high pressure to the north, so it's just stuck here. And as long as you have a low to the west of you, everybody to the east of that low is on the wet side of the low. So you're getting lift, you're getting moisture that's coming in from the Pacific Ocean at mid-levels. We're getting moisture coming off the Gulf at low levels. So you have two different oceans supplying copious amounts of moisture. That doesn't always guarantee rain, but when you get that with the upper low in place, we also have a little frontal boundary that's been parked in here. That is the scenario for flash flooding. And as we look at the radar right now this evening, they're getting more thunderstorms developing and moving through the hardest hit areas. This setup is stuck for one more night. They've got a significant flash flood threat here again tonight. Uvalde, to Kerrville and all the watersheds in here that are under flood warnings right now. So looking at the hill country outlook, tonight, significant flash flood threat continues. They could see 8 to 10 inches of rain overnight tonight in some spots. That could be catastrophic if it falls on the wrong spot. The rain exits Friday. We'll begin to see rain chances taper down Friday afternoon, and then Saturday and Sunday look like much lower rain chances for the hill country. The rivers and creeks stay high, so everyone's urged to stay away from water out there. Stay away. It's all dangerous out there. Our little shower activity ends by 8 overnight. Quiet. Typical quiet summer. Warm, humid, and then hot and humid going into lunchtime. Here's noon 30 on Friday. There could be an isolated shower here and there tomorrow afternoon, but even less coverage than what little we're getting today, tomorrow afternoon. The numbers, I'll give it a 20% rain chance. That may be overdone, but 20% chance by noon, 20% chance in the afternoon. High temp goes to 93. And again, you saw those heat index forecasts, 105, 106 in many spots tomorrow, early to mid afternoon. So the heat is now what we're managing and not so much the rain. Let's talk about the tropics. Here we are July 16th, and we're now in the time when statistically you can see we begin to see a ramp up in activity. Statistically, doesn't mean you're going to, but over history we've seen that this is when things can begin to get a little busier in the Atlantic. Yesterday, 2 spots popped up to monitor. They're not developed systems, not even close, but 2 spots to monitor. This one out here, very unlikely to develop. It's 4,000 miles away. Modeling not developing it. We're going to put that on the back burner for now. We are paying more attention to this simply because of its proximity to the Gulf and Houston. 20% chance that something forms here really over the weekend. Really more likely if something's going to form here, it would be early next week. The modeling, really nothing going on out here now. But it's going into Saturday and Sunday that we see a blob of rain and thunder showers try to develop here in the northeast Gulf. You can see Houston over the weekend. We're not impacted by that. And looking at this modeling, what we don't see is any concentration of isobars closing off. So we're not seeing low pressure deepen out here. At least the modeling isn't. Moving forward, I'll put this in motion. You'll see the blob of rain just kind of hang out here for a day or two, and then watch how it just stretches out from the Gulf up the East Coast. Yeah. So when you see that elongation, what we're going to have is another frontal boundary push in. That may disrupt any type of potential growth of that system. It's so close to land, it's interacting with that. There's dust in place as well. So there's several negatives going on for any type of development to happen here. It looks unlikely we'll get development. We will continue to take all of this just one day at a time. There's the dust. That's what's making our skies hazy right now. That is part of a dust bank that dominates the Atlantic basin right now. More dust forecast to come off the west coast of Africa. But if you've been monitoring this along with us, you may notice it looks like there's a little bit less dust in the forecast than there has been, and you would be correct. Still plenty of it, but not as much. As we get into the second half of July and August, quite often we see a reduction in the amount of dust out here, statistically. Doesn't always happen, but that's what usually happens. So that would jibe with what we normally see. It's another reason why getting into the second half of July and going into August, things can get busier. The dust can begin to lose its impact of lowering storm count at that point. Looking at the rainfall outlook, 22nd through the 26th, wetter than normal on the East Coast, wetter than normal in the monsoon west, and we are forecast to be drier than normal this 22nd through the 26th, just what we need right now. 7-day forecast, man, rain is pretty much done with us, and now it's just sweat. I start hydrating the day before, like if I'm going to play golf or something the next day, just a tip, it works. Otherwise, take breaks frequently, mid to upper 90s. Heat index is well over 100 tomorrow and through the weekend and into next week as we go into dry spell number 2 of this summer. That's where we stand. Have a good evening, everybody.